One of the biggest changes in my understanding of how to play chords on the piano came when I realized pretty much every chord is some other chord on top of some other chord.
Disguised as another dude.
Or chords within chords, chords over notes. When you start thinking about chords this way, at first it can seem like maybe it's adding a level of complication, but you can actually come up with some really interesting tricks that can help you find complex chords no matter where you're playing on the piano. Here's what I mean. One of my favorite voicings on the piano, one of my favorite chords to play, is a sus13 chord. Here's what that means. Let's take a C major triad. Now let's make it sus. So in this case, we're going to use sus4, which means we're going to take the third and move it up to a fourth, right? But now, if we want to say it's a sus13, well, the 13 implies that the 11 and the 9 and the 7 are all there as well, right? So what is 13 in C? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, oh look, 13 is the same as the 6. Okay, so we have a sus4, all right? We have a 13, which means we know we're going to have the 11, we're going to have the 9, and we're going to have the 7, the flat 7, okay? That right there is a beautiful chord. Like, all we did is just say, okay, it's a sus13, and then we build down, obviously, from there. Well, what happens if I immediately say, well, I need to play this chord in the key of B major? All right, well, let's take a B major triad, move it up, make it sus, go find the 13, it's the 6, but an octave higher, and then build down from there. There we go. Oh, it's such a beautiful chord. But you see how long that just took me to come up with that answer. That's just not gonna work. We need to have a quicker way to just be able to think about this chord and be able to contextualize it immediately so that we can pull it up anytime, anywhere, in any key. Now, maybe you simply just work out this chord as it stands and you figure out, oh, this is basically like, I know how this feels and I can work with it and I can practice it and I can learn it in every key. And you know what? That's totally fine. You can absolutely do that. But as I was playing this chord, I was looking at it and I was like, wait a second. This is way simpler than thinking through the 13. Okay, then climb down 11, 9, flat 7. Okay. In fact, let's actually look at that little phrase again. 13, 11, 9, 7. Let's remove the rest of our C. What is this? Oh, all of a sudden, we realize we're just playing a B flat major 7 chord. That's it. Over maybe like 1 and 5 in C. And that gives us that sus13 sound. It's exactly the same result as when we went through the process. All I did is I left out, since we're already playing that 4th or the 11th, I left that out instead of doing that. So I've just discovered that a B flat major 7 chord sitting over top of just 1 and 5 of the whatever chord I'm playing yields this beautiful voicing that I love to play. Well, how would we explain this so that we could play it anywhere? Because it's easy for me to say, well, it's B flat major 7 over 1 and 5 in C. But as soon as we change keys, that all of a sudden becomes irrelevant again because, well, now we need to go find all of those relationships. So rather than doing that, why don't we explain this in a harmonically universal way? In a way that we can say, okay, if I follow these directions on the piano, it's going to result in this voicing every single time, and maybe it's a simplified way of thinking about a chord. In this case, I know I have a B flat major 7 chord over that 1 and 5 of the chord that I'm playing. In this case, it's a C chord, right? So C and G. How would I describe this? Well, let's see. This is a major 7th chord. That's easy. I can find that anywhere. Very, very, very simple. What is its unique position relative to our root? Well, our root is C. This is a C chord we're trying to play. So where's B flat? Oh, well, that's just a whole step down. Is that it? Is it really that simple? Just play a major 7th chord on the whole step down? All right, let's test it. What about E major? Well, that's easy to find because I know I'm just playing 1-5. But then, so just play a major 7th chord of the whole step down? Well, the whole step down from E is D, so Look at that. That's our voicing. That's that beautiful sus13 voicing. And we just found it like that by having a small process of getting there and understanding what these shapes are that we're layering on top of each other. The fact that this actually is a D major 7 chord, and if you just put that over an E, you get this beautiful sound, right? We can do this anywhere. What about A? A whole step down from A is G, so G major 7 over A. Look at that. Beautiful. E flat. That would be D flat as a whole step down, major 7. There's our chord. And we can, all of a sudden, we can find this anywhere at the drop of a hat. Yes. Woo! Oh man. Oh wait, no, that was wrong. Ah, I know why, because my brain for some reason decided to play a minor 7th chord, starting on the whole step down. There we go, that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah. Woo! Oh man, what a beautiful sound, right? And we've unlocked this simplicity of finding this chord anywhere on the piano, no matter what we're doing, because we simply said, oh, well, it's this shape over that, and how would I get there? Well, it's a whole step down. Easy. I can do that anywhere. You can apply this thinking to just about anything. What about like a complex dominant chord voicing? Let's take a B7, so a B dominant chord, shell, and we're gonna make it with we're gonna play it with a flat 9. I wanna do a sharp 11. Yeah, let's do that. Flat 9, sharp 11. B7, flat 9, sharp 11. That's a mouthful. That's a lot to remember, right? And I came up with this voicing here, okay? Now, if I were to play that somewhere else, I'd have to think through the process. E flat, okay, 7, flat 9, sharp 11. Okay, I found it. But you know what's a lot quicker than that? Going, wait a second. What's this? That's quite literally just an F major triad. It happens to be in first inversion. And I put it over 1 and 3 of the chord that I'm playing. That's it. F major over B. And it creates B7, flat 9, sharp 11. Well, that's crazy. What's the relationship there? B and F are a tritone apart. Okay, simple. So anytime I have a major or a dominant, I can simply play the triad based on the tritone away from the root. E flat, A is the tritone, A major. Check that out. Bingo. We just played E flat, 7, flat 9, sharp 11. It took me a second to think about. We can do this anywhere, absolutely anywhere. G flat, well, the tritone from G flat is C, so I'm gonna do G flat dominant with C major over top. There's that sound again. So easy to find. A, and the tritone from A is E flat or D sharp, so E flat major over A dominant. How about D? A flat is the tritone from D. There we go. A flat. Well, that'd be D again, right? Look at that. Look how easy this is. Once we start realizing that all of these sounds can be explained, we can come up with systems in our head to describe them and maybe think of them as stacked chords, chords within chords, chords over top of each other. This will fundamentally change the way you think about harmony forever, the way you think about specifically how you're going to voice chords on the piano, because this is a difficult topic. It's something that we like to develop a set of chord voicings that we particularly like as pianists that we can pull out at any given time. Well, that becomes much easier if we have very simple ways of thinking about chord voicings so that we can find them in any key. Let's talk about a simpler one. This is a voicing of C major 7 that I love to use, which includes the sharp 11. It's such a beautiful chord, and normally when I do the sharp 11, I include that 9th in there, right? And this comes to mind really anytime we're dealing with anything Lydian, right? Anything with that sharp 4. To me, the thing that stands out the most is that this feels a lot like just D major. And when we complete that triad and include it in our C major 7 voicing, it adds the 13 which is a beautiful way to round out that sound as well. So when it comes to like a C major 7 sharp 11 voicing, sometimes I literally just think, oh, D major over C major 7. That's it. What is that? It's a whole step up, major triad over the chord, and apply it anywhere. A flat, what's a whole step up? B flat. B flat major over A flat major 7. There is a beautiful A flat major 7 sharp 11 voicing. How about E major? Well, a whole step up is F sharp. There you go. Easy. Done. D flat major. Beautiful. Yes. Woo! Yeah! These devices are just, they make finding chords so much easier. It's a really, really fast way to develop an incredible freedom of playing chord voicings anywhere on the piano. Because by having little ways of defining some of these things in our mind, oh, it's a whole step up and then a major triad over that. Whatever works for you. And that may not be the things that I use. It may be something different entirely, but the important thing here is that you realize that chords are often just other chords stacked on top of each other to create these complex sounds. This just frees your mind up so much, and it makes your hands, they just have such an easier time finding so many of these voicings. Because you don't have to think through so much. You can literally just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna play that on top of it. Every single time, no matter what key I'm in, it completely frees you up for which key you're playing. You can find all your favorite chords no matter what key you are in. It'll change your understanding of chords and harmony forever. Anyways, I was just thinking about this and I was excited about it. I wanted to share it with you. I hope it was helpful in some way. If you enjoy the content here on Better Piano, please consider subscribing. It helps out a ton. That's gonna be all for me today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you next time.